What happens when your rights change the moment you cross state lines? It's not just a legal issue. It's a fundamental question about the freedoms we all hold dear. Gun laws are one of the most divisive topics in America today. But what if they weren't just a matter of politics? What if your rights, as an American citizen, were no longer guaranteed when you crossed into another state? This story isn't just about gun laws. It's a fight for your freedoms, a struggle that will determine if our rights truly extend across the entire nation. Stay with me to see how a single moment led to a national shift in the way we think about gun rights. Chapter 1. The traffic stop that changed everything. In a story that shocked the nation, a simple traffic stop turned into a legal nightmare. Shenine Allen, a responsible gun owner from Philadelphia, got pulled over in New Jersey for a minor violation. When she truthfully told the officer about her legal firearm, her life was thrown into turmoil. She was arrested for a felony she didn't know existed, and that arrest sparked a nationwide push to redefine gun laws. Shenine's case was just the beginning. It exposed a broken system where your rights could be violated simply because of where you were. And now, it's up to the courts to decide whether your rights are still your own when you cross state lines. Chapter 2. A landmark Supreme Court ruling. Let's break it down. The Supreme Court made a landmark ruling in 2022. The case? New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. 6 justices, led by Clarence Thomas, told the entire country that restrictive gun laws didn't stand up to America's constitutional history. They ruled that if a state wants to restrict your right to carry a gun, it must prove that its laws align with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation, not just with what politicians want today. This new standard is shaking up the system. In a flash, laws that were once seen as normal, like New York's May issue permits or California's strict handgun rules, are now under fire. Every law, every restriction is being examined through the lens of America's founding history. And the result? Many of those laws can no longer stand. Chapter 3. The woman who sparked change. But there's more. This fight is bigger than just one person's case. Shenine Allen's story was the catalyst. She legally owned her firearm, followed all the rules, and yet, a simple traffic stop led to a felony charge. She faced a mandatory 3-year prison sentence for a crime she didn't commit, simply because she crossed a state line. In the end, Shenine was pardoned, but the emotional toll was severe. Her case laid bare how the system failed her, and many others like her. It became clear. This wasn't just about one woman, it was about a broken system that needed to change. Chapter 4. Political pushback and change it did. Politicians across the country reacted swiftly. New York's Governor, Kathy Hochul, immediately went to work, crafting a new law that made it nearly impossible to carry a firearm anywhere outside your home or car. New Jersey and California followed suit, doubling down on restrictions, creating complex regulations, and making it harder than ever for lawful gun owners to exercise their rights. These laws aren't just inconvenient. They're designed to create a labyrinth of legal hurdles. But will they stand the test of time? With federal courts continuing to issue rulings that challenge these laws, there's hope that constitutional rights will prevail. Chapter 5. The struggle of other law-abiding citizens. It's not just Shenine. Ryan Jerome, a Marine veteran, found himself arrested in New York for asking about checking his firearm. Meredith Graves, a medical student, was arrested in 2011 for simply following federal law and bringing her firearm to the 9/11 memorial. And countless others, from truckers to traveling nurses, have found themselves caught in a web of confusing, conflicting state laws. The question remains, Why should law-abiding citizens be treated like criminals simply for crossing a state line with a legal firearm? These stories are proof that something needs to change. Chapter 6. Debunking the anti-gun narrative. But there's another issue here. The narrative pushed by anti-gun politicians. They claim more guns equal more crime, but the facts tell a different story. In Texas, where gun owners are legally permitted to carry, the conviction rate for permit holders is a staggering 0.16%. Compare that to the general population, which has a conviction rate more than 20 times higher. Other states, like Florida, have maintained a similarly low revocation rate for firearm licenses, showing that the people who are legally carrying firearms aren't the problem. It's the criminals who ignore the law. Chapter 7. The future of gun laws. As we look to the future, the next 6 months will decide everything. Multiple cases are working their way through the courts, and with each new ruling, we get closer to seeing the true impact of the Supreme Court's decision. Will laws on magazine capacity, assault weapons, and waiting periods survive? Or will they fall as the court continues to enforce a history-based standard of regulation? The momentum is on the side of gun rights, but the battle is far from over. Chapter 8. A constitutional battle. This is more than just a fight for gun rights. It's a fight for the Constitution itself. If states are allowed to ignore the Supreme Court's ruling, it could set a dangerous precedent where political agendas override fundamental freedoms. This battle isn't just about guns. It's about whether or not our Constitution still holds the power to protect all Americans, no matter where they live. If the law is upheld, it could bring an end to a system where law-abiding citizens have been unjustly targeted. We're at a crucial moment in history. The next few months will determine whether we protect the rights that our country was founded upon, or let them slip away. This is more than just a fight for gun rights. It's a fight for the Constitution itself. The battle is only beginning, and the next few months will decide whether the rights guaranteed by the Constitution are truly upheld in every state. The consequences of this fight will shape the future of our nation, determining whether law-abiding citizens will continue to be treated like criminals simply for exercising their constitutional rights. It's up to you to decide where you stand. Should your Second Amendment rights follow you across all 50 states, or should they depend on where you are? Drop your thoughts in the comments.